Did you know the average factory farm chicken eats over 30 different artificial chemicals before reaching your plate? Yet there's a community that's been raising healthy, robust livestock for centuries without touching a single artificial additive. The Amish have mastered the art of natural animal feeding, and their livestock isn't just surviving, it's thriving. What ancient wisdom do these master farmers know that modern agriculture has forgotten? Today, we're stepping into their world to uncover their time-tested secrets of raising animals the natural way. Let's start with something fascinating. While modern farms rely on pre-mixed feeds loaded with synthetic nutrients, Amish farmers follow three core principles that haven't changed for generations: simplicity, sustainability, and working with nature's rhythm. The heart of Amish animal nutrition is surprisingly straightforward. Instead of complex feed formulas, they use what we call the 60-30-10 rule. That means 60% of their animal feed comes straight from their own fields. Think fresh hay, alfalfa, and corn. Another 30% comes from diverse pasture grazing, where animals eat various natural grasses and herbs. The remaining 10%, that's their secret weapon: fermented feeds and natural supplements like apple cider vinegar and kelp. But here's what makes their system truly remarkable. Unlike commercial farms that use the same feed year-round, Amish farmers adapt their feed mixtures with the seasons. In spring, their livestock feast on fresh clover and young grass shoots, naturally rich in proteins. Summer brings a buffet of timothy hay and wildflowers. Fall? That's when they start mixing in fermented corn silage, a traditional preservation method that actually increases nutrient availability. And in winter, they rely on carefully stored dry hay, preserved at peak nutrition, along with sprouted grains that provide living nutrients even in the coldest months. Recent research from Lancaster Agricultural Studies shows that this seasonal feeding approach actually matches animals' natural digestive cycles better than constant composition commercial feeds. Animals on Amish farms show 23% higher nutrient absorption rates compared to those on conventional farms. The beauty of this system isn't just in its simplicity, it's in how everything connects. The healthy soil feeds the plants feed the animals, and the animals, in turn, help maintain the soil's fertility. It's a perfect circle that's been working for centuries. Ever wondered why Amish livestock looks so healthy while most farmers struggle with endless vet bills? The secret lies in something so simple, it might blow your mind. As dawn breaks over an Amish farm, you'd see something remarkable: a daily ritual that's been perfected through centuries of farming wisdom. Picture this. The morning dew still clings to the grass as an Amish farmer moves his cattle to a new patch of pasture. But this isn't just any random move. What you're watching is an intricate dance between land, animals, and time. A dance that modern science is only now beginning to understand. They call it intensive rotational grazing. But for the Amish, it's simply the way things have always been done. Here's where it gets fascinating. While modern farms often keep animals in the same spot until the grass is stripped bare, Amish farmers divide their land into small sections, some as small as a quarter acre. Their animals graze in each section for just 48 hours, barely enough time to taste all the different grasses. And trust me, there's a lot to taste. The real magic happens during the rest period. Each section gets a 45-day vacation from grazing. During this time, something incredible occurs underground. The grass roots, no longer stressed by constant munching, grow deeper and deeper into the soil. We're talking roots reaching down 6-8 feet. These deep roots act like natural mining equipment, pulling up minerals and nutrients that shallow-rooted plants can't reach. But here's what's really mind-blowing. The Amish don't just grow any old grass. They've developed their own special mix of plants that work together like a well-oiled machine. There's orchard grass, with its deep roots and quick regrowth. Red clover, nature's nitrogen factory, actually pulls nitrogen from the air and feeds it to other plants. Talk about teamwork. Then there's alfalfa, the mineral powerhouse, reaching deep into the earth to bring up calcium, magnesium, and other essential nutrients. Recent research from agricultural universities has confirmed what the Amish have known all along. Soil managed this way contains up to 50% more organic matter than conventionally managed pastures. But what does that actually mean? Think of organic matter as the soil's bank account. The more you have, the more nutrients are available for plants to withdraw and use. The system gets even more brilliant. As animals graze, they naturally fertilize the soil with their manure. But because they're moved so frequently, this fertilizer is spread evenly across the pasture, instead of concentrating in certain areas. It's like having a perfectly calibrated fertilizer spreader that works for free. And here's a fascinating detail most people don't know. Amish farmers pay close attention to how their animals graze. They've noticed that cattle naturally choose different plants at different times, almost as if they know exactly what nutrients they need. Modern science has confirmed this too. Animals can self-medicate by choosing specific plants when they're lacking certain minerals. The result? Healthier animals that rarely need veterinary care, richer soil that gets better every year, and grass that's so nutrient-dense, it makes grain feeding almost unnecessary. It's a perfect example of working with nature instead of against it. This isn't just farming. It's a masterclass in ecological harmony that's been refined over generations. And the best part? It doesn't require a single chemical input, just careful observation and patience. As one Amish farmer put it, we don't feed the animals. We feed the soil, and the soil feeds the plants, and the plants feed the animals. Now that's what I call real sustainable farming. You might think the Amish are stuck in the past, but their animal feeding methods are pure genius. Let me take you behind the scenes of what might be the most sustainable farming system in America. Imagine walking through an Amish farm, no tractors, no massive silos filled with commercial feed, yet their animals are the picture of health. How do they do it? The secret lies in their incredible feed cycle. Let's dive into their fascinating crop system. Picture a massive chess game, but instead of pieces, the Amish are moving different crops across their fields in a perfectly timed dance. They've mastered what modern farmers call polyculture. But they've been doing it for centuries before it had a fancy name. Their star player? Something called open-pollinated corn. Now, this isn't your regular supermarket corn. This is the great-great-grandmother of modern corn, packed with nearly twice the protein and natural oils. Recent studies from Lancaster Agricultural Center showed these heirloom varieties contain up to 30% more essential nutrients than modern hybrid corn. Mind-blowing, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. The Amish don't just grow one or two feed crops. They're cultivating a whole buffet for their animals. Think of it as a 5-star restaurant menu, but for livestock. They've got oats, barley, spelt, and something fascinating called diverse meadow hay, a mix of up to 40 different grass and herb species. Each plant brings its own nutritional punch to the table. A 2024 study in the Journal of Heritage Agriculture found that this diverse hay contains 3 times the mineral content of single-species hay. No wonder their animals rarely need vitamin supplements. Now, let me share something that'll blow your mind about their storage methods. Remember those wooden silos I mentioned? They're architectural masterpieces of natural preservation. The Amish build them using specific types of wood, usually cedar or oak, and align them with the prevailing winds. This creates what they call a natural ventilation system. But here's the clever part. They layer their grains with dried herbs like thyme and sage. These aren't just for flavor. They're natural preservatives that keep the feed fresh for months without a single chemical. The real magic happens in their seasonal adaptations. During spring and summer, they practice something called sequential grazing. Picture this, a carefully orchestrated ballet of animals moving through fields. Cattle go first, chomping on the top layers of grass. Sheep follow, eating the middle layers. Finally, chickens come through, scratching and pecking at insects and spreading manure. It's a perfect circle of life that keeps their pastures healthy and their animals well fed. Winter feeding is another story altogether. They've got this brilliant system called warm feeding, where they slightly ferment some grains before feeding. This process, according to recent research from Ohio State Agricultural Department, increases protein availability by up to 25% and helps animals stay warmer during cold months. Clever, right? But perhaps the most remarkable thing is their feed calendar. Every animal's diet changes not just with the seasons, but with the phases of the moon. Sounds like old wives' tales? Well, a groundbreaking 2023 study found that certain plants actually have higher nutrient concentrations during specific lunar phases. Once again, ancient wisdom meets modern science. The beauty of the Amish system isn't just in what they do, it's in what they don't do. No artificial growth hormones, no synthetic vitamins, no chemical preservatives. Just pure, natural farming wisdom passed down through generations, proven effective by both tradition and modern science. And the results? Their livestock consistently shows lower disease rates, better fertility, and longer lifespans than conventionally raised animals. Sometimes, the old ways really are the best ways. Now, let me share something that might shock you. While modern farms pump their animals full of artificial supplements that cost hundreds of dollars, Amish farmers are quietly using plants growing in their own backyards to keep their animals healthy. And guess what? Their animals are often healthier than those in commercial farms. Crazy, right? Picture this. Every morning, as the sun rises over Amish farms, these wise farmers are already mixing their secret weapon, their morning wellness tonic. They start with raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the same kind that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. But here's the kicker. A groundbreaking 2023 study just proved that this simple ingredient can boost an animal's gut health so much that it reduces the need for artificial supplements by more than half. That's right. Something as basic as vinegar is beating expensive commercial products. But wait, it gets even better. The Amish have this incredible thing they call their wellness mix. Think of it as a natural multivitamin, but way more powerful. They combine raw honey, and not just any honey, we're talking about pure, unprocessed stuff, with mineral-rich herbs like stinging nettle and dandelion. Now you might be thinking, dandelions? Those annoying weeds in my yard? Well, hold on to your hat, because those weeds are actually nutrient powerhouses. Recent research from Cornell University found that dandelion greens contain more vitamin A than carrots and more iron than spinach. Here's where things get really interesting. Ever heard of diatomaceous earth? It's this fascinating powder made from tiny fossilized algae that's been around for millions of years. Amish farmers use it everywhere. In animal bedding, mixed into feed, even sprinkled around grain storage. And here's the mind-blowing part. It naturally controls parasites without any chemicals. A recent study from the University of Nebraska showed it's as effective as commercial dewormers in controlling internal parasites. Nature. 1. Chemicals. 0. But the real secret to Amish farming success? They're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Instead of waiting for animals to get sick, they're preventing illness every single day. Their animals munch on fresh oregano, thyme, and mint mixed into their regular feed. And these aren't just random herbs, they're natural powerhouses. Get this. Researchers at Michigan State University found that oregano oil contains compounds that fight bacteria just as effectively as commercial antibiotics. Mother Nature's been hiding antibiotics in our herb gardens all along. The most fascinating part of their approach is how they change things up with the seasons. It's like they're running a natural pharmacy that shifts with the calendar. Spring brings fresh dandelion greens bursting with vitamins. Summer is all about mineral-rich herbs at their peak. When fall rolls around, they're collecting immune-boosting elderberries. And in winter, that's when they break out the extra garlic and their carefully dried summer herbs. It's a beautiful dance with nature's rhythms. Oh, and let me tell you about their garlic game. It's next level. While most modern farmers reach for expensive immune boosters, Amish farmers simply add fresh garlic to their feed, especially during cold months. And science is finally catching up to what they've known for generations. A groundbreaking study from Penn State's Agricultural Department showed that garlic doesn't just boost immune systems, it actually works as a natural antibiotic without creating resistant bacteria. How's that for ancient wisdom? But here's what really blows my mind. They're also masters at using herbs we usually overlook. Take mullein, for example. This tall, fuzzy plant that grows along roadsides. Amish farmers use it to support their animals' respiratory health. Recent research from the University of Kentucky confirmed it contains natural compounds that help clear mucus and reduce inflammation. They're literally turning roadside plants into medicine. The beauty of this whole system isn't just that it works, it's that it's sustainable, affordable, and actually better for the animals. While modern farms spend thousands on synthetic supplements, Amish farmers are creating healthier animals using what nature provides for free. Now that's what I call working smarter, not harder. You know what's mind-blowing? While we're living in a world of high-tech farming, there's this incredible community that's absolutely crushing it with methods older than your great-grandparents. Let's dive into something that might just change how you think about modern farming. Picture this. On one side, we've got modern factory farms spending a whopping $380 per cow every year just on commercial feed. That's like buying a new smartphone for each cow. But here's where it gets interesting. Amish farmers? They're spending less than $190. How? They're not buying into the expensive commercial feed game. Instead, they're working their land like master chess players, growing exactly what their animals need. A recent Penn State study found that Amish farms are saving about 55% on feed costs while producing the same amount of milk and meat. That's not just smart farming. That's financial wizardry. Now let's talk about something that might make you raise your eyebrows. Did you know that in modern farms, about 70% of all antibiotics used in America, yes, you heard that right, 70% goes straight to livestock? It's like we're running animal hospitals instead of farms. But walk onto an Amish farm and you'll see a completely different story. Their animals are like the superheroes of the farm world, naturally resistant to diseases. Why? It's all in the menu, folks. Here's the secret sauce. Amish cows aren't just eating boring processed feed. They're getting a gourmet buffet of diverse pasture plants. We're talking about more than 60 different natural minerals and vitamins in every bite. Compare that to commercial feed, which is like the fast food of the animal world, quick and convenient, but missing that natural goodness. A 2024 agricultural study from the University of Wisconsin showed that grass-fed Amish dairy cows produce milk with 50% more omega-3 fatty acids than their conventional counterparts. That's not just better for the animals. It's better for everyone who enjoys dairy products. But wait, it gets even better. Let's talk about the environmental impact, because this is where the Amish method really shines. Modern farming often feels like a one-way street. We keep putting things in, chemicals, fertilizers, antibiotics, and taking things out, crops, milk, meat. But Amish farming? It's more like a beautiful dance with nature. Their farms create this amazing cycle where everything has a purpose. The animals graze on homegrown crops, then their manure becomes natural fertilizer, making the soil richer for next season's crops. A groundbreaking 2023 study revealed that this traditional method locks away 40% more carbon in the soil than modern farming. Plus, these farms use about 60% less energy than conventional farms. Talk about being earth-friendly. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Amish farms are actually becoming more profitable per acre than many modern farms. Why? Because they're not spending a fortune on chemicals, commercial feed, or fancy equipment that breaks down. A recent economic survey showed that Amish farms have about 25% higher profit margins than conventional farms of similar size. They're proving that sometimes the old ways are the gold ways. The really fascinating part? More and more modern farmers are starting to take notes from the Amish playbook. They're seeing that working with nature instead of trying to control it isn't just more sustainable, it's more profitable too. It's like the Amish have been sitting on this goldmine of farming wisdom all along, while the rest of us were chasing after the latest agricultural trends. In the end, it's not about going completely back to the old ways. It's about finding that sweet spot where traditional wisdom meets modern needs. The Amish aren't just farming differently. They're showing us a whole different way of thinking about food production. It's a system that's gentler on the wallet, healthier for the animals, and kinder to our planet. Now that's what I call smart farming. Before you go, let me share something powerful. What we've learned from the Amish isn't just about feeding animals, it's about rethinking our entire approach to farming. These simple yet brilliant methods show us that the healthiest path isn't always the most expensive or complicated one. Remember, natural feed leads to healthier animals, lower costs, and a healthier planet. While modern farming races forward with artificial solutions, the Amish remind us that nature already has the answers we need. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe to join our journey of uncovering more hidden wisdom from traditional farming. Want to learn more about natural farming methods? Drop a comment below with what you'd like to know next. Your great-grandparents would be proud to see you're interested in these time-tested methods. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the old ways are the best ways.